Just a hair. Matthew's in the building. What's up, Matthew? Welcome in to the stream. Bananas in the building as well. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in today. Let's go. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting everything rolling here. Microfrost is in the building. Rosita, welcome in. I appreciate y'all hopping in. Welcome to the stream, y'all. If y'all are coming in for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. We're going to be on short and sweet again today. Short and sweet again. So definitely make sure if y'all are wanting to submit music and you already know the process that you tap in fairly quickly. I will explain the whole live stream in the next like 3 or 4 minutes. So give me just a moment. Cactus, welcome in. I'm getting a couple things set up. You absolutely can. What we do here in Track Talk, which I'll explain in a couple minutes, are long consultations, about 20 to 30 minutes a piece. We're going to dive really deep. Welcome in from Spain. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to dive really deep into the structure of your music, mix, production, sound design, songwriting, lyric, and song formatting, whatever it may be. We'll spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking it down. But if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. I'll explain the whole thing here in just a couple minutes. I'm just waiting for some things to load up for the other platforms to launch, and then we'll get things flowing here. Just give me like 2 or 3 minutes to get things rolling. Astro's in the building. Welcome in, Astro. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. EXO, welcome in as well. I appreciate y'all tapping into the stream. I hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic. Ray Styles in the building. Waste, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Dr. Paranormal's in the building. Welcome into the stream, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Swipe out and swipe back in then, Ray Styles. Swipe back and swipe back in, or exit the app and come back in. For whatever reason, that just like happens with people when they come in every once in a while. Candy's in the building. What's up? Or Conde, thank you so much for it's Candy. Conde, welcome in. Luna, appreciate you being here. Regain, Joe D, welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. Let me see. Dizzy's in the building. What's up? What's up? It's so good to see you. Thanks for tapping in over on Twitch. I appreciate you being here. Marvis, welcome in. Roger is in the building. I hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Welcome in to the stream. Welcome into the stream. Once again, I'll explain the live stream in like 2 minutes here. I'm just getting a couple things updated before we get rolling, but I would love to know where y'all are joining from. I would love to know the kind of music you make if you make music. I'm quite literally only listening to like 3 songs today. 3 songs today. So if you do want to get heard, that's going to be where we're at. We got about 3. That's it. That's all I got time for. 3 or 4 songs, but most likely about 3. So if you want to submit, everything's at my profile, but I will explain everything here in like 2 minutes. I just want to get everything rolling. Here, and then we'll get flowing. Kylan's in the building. Diego, welcome in. Luna's in the building. Luna, I appreciate you tapping in so much. Linda's in the building. Sweden, I'm a good old country. Let's go. I'd love to hear it. Shout out to Sweden. Kylan, so good to see you, man. I hope you're doing amazing today. Welcome in. Like I said, y'all, we're gonna listen to like 3 songs today. It's about as short and sweet as it gets for my stream. For those of you who have been here before, you know I take forever. I take like 30 minutes per song. That's the whole structure of these consultations. We're gonna dive really deep into those songs during that 30 minutes, but that means I only got about an hour and a half to 2 hours today. So we got like 3 songs. It is going to be short and sweet. We're not going to be here for too long. Dan, welcome in. It's so good to see you. Karak, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. Welcome in. Okay, let me update one more thing over here, and then I'll explain the live stream, and then we'll everything's at my profile, Linda. Go to my profile, click on the link there. But I will explain everything here in just like 30 seconds. So y'all can kind of understand the structure of this live stream. It's a little bit different. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm refreshing a couple things here, and then I'll let y'all know exactly where to go for submissions and the structure of the live stream and all that good stuff. Let's see. Man, I've been running around all day. I'm like, oof. I feel like I'm still out of breath just from doing stuff all day. It's running on like crazy. All right, let me see. There's Eric from yesterday. Sloth Boy, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. Welcome in. Let me get this moved over here. All right, let's go. Nays in the building. Welcome in. Okay, y'all, welcome to Track Talk. Let me go in and give my spiel. Nathan's in the building. What's up, Nathan? Let me give my spiel before we get into the stream here so y'all can understand the structure of what's going on. If y'all have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the live stream. We're live right now on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. I appreciate y'all hopping in on any one of those platforms. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30-minute multiple listen consultations on the structure of your music. Like I said, these are about 20 to 30 minutes a piece. We usually go through your song 2 or 3 different times to dive deep into the structure of your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. We're going to dive deep into the nuances of what you do both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. I'll go over the link here in a second, Karak. I'll double check a couple things just to make sure. I haven't changed the thing, so it should work. You can try it over on Instagram under the same name if it's not working for some reason over there. But yeah, like I said, these are long, they're detailed. This is not a review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is a detailed, deep dive into what you're doing within the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the structure of this live stream, the perspective of the live stream is from that perspective. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. We're here to break down the music and really dive deep into the structure of what you're doing, and have a little bit of a dialogue about what you're doing in some ways that we can polish it, some ways that we can really get into the details of what you're doing. D-Rock, welcome in. I appreciate you. Okay, really quick. If you would like to submit your music for one of these 20 to 30-minute multiple listen consultations, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. Please do read through and follow those details. If you do, you will get yourself up on the board. But yeah, go to my profile, click on the link. If you're on the purple app, you can type !submit. If you are on the red app, which you can find all of these over at the link as well. If you are on the red app, then you can go to the description for the live stream. You'll see what you need there. I'm in the list button doesn't work. What list? List button. What list button? I was less confused before. Now I am more. Now more. I was like, what list button? Libby, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it a lot. Silex is in the building. What's up, Silex? It's so good to see you. Dizzy, so much. So how much do I have to send to be played today? Still 10 min, still 10, same on the link. I'm backwards over here. Same on the link over here. Still, Isaac, welcome in. Yeah, still 10 min, but I'm literally taking 3 or 4 songs. Most likely by the time we get everything rolling and get everything moving, it'll probably be about 3 songs. So I will bump things fairly quickly. Like after probably the first song is coming in, I'll start to bump things in just because it is going to be very, very, very short and sweet today. Very concise. But at least minimum is always going to be the 10. I mean, the link for the song list, there's not a, wait, what song list link are you talking about? I don't have a list for the song link on there. It's not working. Yeah. What? I'm not sure what you're tapping. Yeah. If y'all want to see the link, I'm sorry. Now I'm confused. If you want to see the list, if you want to see the order, the minimums, where you are on the list and stuff like that, that is always up on the other platforms. The red and purple app, which you can find at my link as well. Use your imagination. Red app starts with a Y and a T, and the purple app starts with the T. Line in the list, the order, how many songs we have left, all of that is always up on those platforms. Silex, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Marv is in the building. But once again, if you're over on the purple app, type !submit. If you're on the red app, go to the description. If you are on the TikTok, then go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. No, you're totally good. I hadn't even explained the list part yet, which is my bad. I hadn't even gone there yet. Not Adam, welcome in as Wheel. God damn it, slow down. Welcome in, not Adam, welcome in. Leo Ritchie, welcome into the chat as well. I appreciate y'all being here. As soon as we get a couple things rolling here and a couple things moving and grooving, we will kickstart the music and we'll get into the few songs. Keep in mind, it's going to be sweet and short. It's going to be sweet and short. We're not going to be on here for very long, so I'm going to close the line fairly quickly. I'm quite literally going to listen to like 3 or 4 songs today. So if you want to get in, I would get in sooner than later because we're going to close it up. Hopefully maybe a couple hours longer tomorrow. Definitely longer on like Thursday, Friday, most likely. And maybe a couple times throughout the weekend here. Just got to work it through projects and work it through some of the other things that I'm doing here. And just kind of where life is happening. But yeah, if you want to submit, some of y'all are talking in the chat. If you would like to submit your music or music you're attached to in any way, then go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. You won't submit here in the chat. Let me get a couple things updated here. But yeah, if y'all are on TikTok as well, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Tap the screen. It really, really does help out. Share out the live with a few people. And then don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. Jay Mitch is in the building. Welcome in, Jay Mitch. That link isn't working for me? Which one? What does it say, Keurig? What does the link say that's not working for you? So I can try it out and I can address it. I can address it myself and make sure that I know which one's not working. And then maybe I can see if like one of the accounts is like disconnected or something like that. Let me see. Let's see. YouTube worked. Perfect. So no, it's not that one. From the page you were looking for. Both. So which one? But what's the link? What's the tab? Because I'm going through the links that are sending to the places I think you were saying you wanted to go, and they all worked. They all worked for me. So you can probably try it. Maybe through Instagram. If you find Torvik Music on Instagram, try the link over there. But I just tried what I have here. Yeah, try it out but let me know which one you're, because I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. I appreciate you letting me know. I want to make sure I don't have any broken links or anything like that, because that would suck. I want to make sure that I. MLA, welcome in. Thanks for joining. Chris in the building. Good to see you. I want to make sure I don't have any broken links. So if you know, then if you like what the tab says, on the link, let me know. That way I can make sure it's not a bad link. I'm starting to not like the action on this key bed. I'm not going to switch anytime soon. I just don't need to, unless something crazy happen. But I'm starting to sometimes get frustrated with the actual like velocity response of this key bed. It does a good job. I think the only time that I get frustrated is when I'm running into some issues with like piano, like things that need a little bit more dynamic range. Nathan, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. And Dzzi, I got you as well. Dzzi, you're so generous, man. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I tried him out on my phone too, and everything seemed to work fine. So I'm not positive what's going on. Dzzi, I appreciate you so much. And Dzzi, let me know if on the board if that's the name that you want. Let me know if that's the name that you want, or if there's any particular production name that you want me to put up there as well. Let's get into our first songs. I'm just gonna wait for as soon as Dzzi's song comes in the email, I'm going to go ahead and get them up here. Like I said, y'all probably, Dzzi's okay? Perfect. I got you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much. Works in answer. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Kirak, that's usually a regional thing. I don't have an answer as to why that happens. I'm not sure why that happens. But for whatever reason, every once in a while, there's a regional issue where the link on TikTok either doesn't work for people, in your case, or it doesn't show up at all. It's really weird. Like sometimes people in like different countries or wherever. Yeah, in general. Yeah, that makes sense. You're in Germany. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens where sometimes the link doesn't even show up, so you have to go over to a different platform. So I appreciate your patience and figuring that out and finding that out. And thank you so much for joining from Germany. I really appreciate that so much. And also, Nathan, I appreciate your first. It actually gives me a little tag up at the top right there that says first gift. I really appreciate you sending your first heart me. That really means a lot. Thank you for your generosity as well. Okay, and we've got it in. It's time to get into the music, y'all. Like I said, it's short and sweet. We'll be closing the line very soon. We have an amazing producer in here. Hoop, welcome in as well. I know Living in Newton John was popular before Greece. Yeah, it's really interesting. The same thing still happens with music nowadays, where like music was popular, it had movement, it had some traction, but then amplified by the mass exposure of a film, especially when there wasn't nearly as much saturation or volume of film being released. The music that was attached to film had a lot more weight to it. You know what I mean? Like now, some random song in the background of the 50,000 shows that are placed on all of the different major digital platforms these days, streaming platforms these days, it doesn't always get as much traction or movement unless you're like a resurgence, like maybe Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush in the Stranger Things series, where it becomes a staple, hits the Billboard charts again, stuff like that. But yeah, it is interesting, even with like older songs where there are songs that were there and they existed, they had some traction, but they got a huge lift by some other film or a show or a play or whatever that maybe gave it a little bit more amplification. It's fun. Let's get into it. Nico's in the building. What's up, Nico? Welcome into the live. I appreciate you being here. We have an amazing producer here. We got Dzzi in the building. They're over on the Purple app right now. So if you want to say hi to them, jump on over there and they can say what's up. Eversnow's in the building. What's up, Eversnow? Jinx, welcome in. Eversnow, I hope you're doing absolutely fabulous today. I hope you're doing amazing. But like I said, it's short. We're just getting started. So everything's wide open. We're getting the ball rolling here. I'm going to go ahead and lift, since we have our first one in here. Keep an eye out on the line and the minimums and everything on the other platforms, just because I got 3 songs today. This is Dzzi over on the Purple app. It's a work in progress and the break needs more spice, but you'll get the idea. I did everything, and yes, I've mixed and mastered it and learned a lot. I appreciate you always. Love you. We love you as well. Dzzi, you're amazing. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream today. And of course, for your generosity, man, with your time as well as your resources. I appreciate it so much. Let's get into it really quick. We love you too, Stowe. We love you too. Thank you so much for tapping in today. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let's dive in, y'all. So quite literally like 2 more songs after this. Let's run it. Unless a particular song moves really fast, and maybe we'll do 4. I like the panning already. This is Transient by Dzzi. Michaela, thank you for joining. Go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. These are 20 to 30 minute consultations, deep dives, multiple listens through the song. All right, let's get it. Thank you for the follow, Rex Havoc. I appreciate it. This is Transient by Dzzi. I immediately hear this almost like 8D panning that's going on with this like early metallic synth. So I'm already a fan. Of what's going on here, but let's run it from the top. And let me also know, Dzzi, if there's anything in particular that you would like me to focus on and hone in on, anything that's a pain point for you that you want me to dig into just a little bit more, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to dive in, man. Beautiful. Got it.
Where am I? It's Dzzi.
Hold on, we're frozen. Give me a sec. Let me see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Hold on. Hey, we're back. There we go. Kamora's in the building. What's up, Kamora? How you feeling? Okay, we're back. Sorry, it was frozen up on me. We're back. I'm gonna back it up a little bit because I was feeling it and no one got to see it. It's embarrassing. Okay, let's run it back here a little bit.
Dzzi. It's Dzzi, baby.
Thank you for the heart me mutilator. Love the dynamic so far. It's time for Dzzi. Dzzi. Creek Radio, welcome in. Love the anticipation here. Slow filter movement. Nasty.
It's Dzzi, baby.
This is great. Nasty. I mean, I in my brain, I almost want a whole other B section of the hook right here. It's a pretty straight. I mean, we'll get into it, but y'all, show some love. Show some love to Dzzi. You don't have to do this. Please feel free to ignore. No, same, Libby, same. I want more. It's a pretty like carbon copy 16-on-16 first hook and second hook. So you go through each of those breakdowns right there. They're beautiful breakdowns. I love everything that I'm hearing. The sound design choices are phenomenal. There's so much energy to it. It feels crispy and crunchy and all the things that I want to hear in a song like this, in a production structure like this. And my brain, I want a whole other B section where maybe you do something even crazier on the B section of your second breakdown. Once you, like you said, you already need to polish. Thank you for the follow, Creek. You already need to polish your second breakdown here and maybe, give it a little bit of a slightly more polished transition going into it. You already mentioned that in your own email. I would not mind a B hook on this second one here before you hit that kind of noise crash out at the very end, that just like pink noise crash out. I would love to get some energy on that, maybe something a little bit nastier, like just keep pushing, keep leaning in that direction when you get into your B section here. But let's run it from the top, man. There's a lot that I love about this. There's a lot that I really, really enjoy about the structure of what you're doing here. I think is absolutely fantastic. Sound design's great. Dynamic. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. The dynamic range is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of anticipation on your buildups here. Yeah, fantastic. I'm loving it already. I've never heard a bad track from Dzzi, so I'm not too worried. But let's dive in. Once again, y'all, I've got time for two more songs, maybe three more songs. Most likely two, potentially three. But let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some of the details. If you would like a 20 to 30 minute consultation, everything's at my profile. Click on the link, read through and follow the details there. If you want to check the line order and minimums, they're on the other platforms that we are live on. You can find the other platforms that we're live on at my profile as well by clicking on the link. This is Transient by Dzzi. It's on SoundCloud right now, but let's run it from the top. I like this a lot, man. Great sound design. It's Dzzi.
Where am I? It's Dzzi.
Okay, one thing really, really quick. I love that you have an additional tag in here now. Love it. Fantastic. I'm a fan. One thing that I would just make sure of, it's a little, to be honest, a little bit harsh. So there's some harsh sibilants cutting through. Make sure you get into some of the processing of that in similar ways as you would the vocals, and just make sure that when that cuts in, it doesn't feel unbeneficially resonant. It doesn't feel harsh. It doesn't feel like it's too slicey, but it cuts in and gives you a nice little transition right there before the beat starts to kick in. I do love the actual transition there. I do love bringing that in. But yeah, just watch the sibilants right there. It's a little harsh. In fact, since it was, because yeah, it's just raw. That's true. Okay, makes sense then. But yeah, that being said, just a little bit of processing, a little bit of dynamic control there, even just like another 3 dB of compression to tighten it up, and then some de-essing control. I don't think you need to like EQ it like crazy or anything, but a little bit of de-essing, or 5K, 6K, just to suppress some of that harshness right there. I think you'll be ready to go. I don't think you need to worry about it too much, but I do like the tag. It's nice.
Where am I? It's Dzzi.
That's a heavy first hit. Come on.
It's Dzzi, baby. Dzzi, baby.
Same thing there. It could also be really cool. Again, Dzzi, you know me, you know what I do. So I'm going to toss a bunch of shit out there. Feel free to like ignore half of it. But when we go into this transition right here, I think that you also have like a little bit of a hull on the background of the vocal. I would love to like dry it up like crazy in this little break right here, just so that your little micro transitions are a little bit more impactful and have a little bit of a stronger effect. Right now, it like kind of just, it blends, and then there's still a lot of space on the vocal in the background, or maybe it's coming off of a synth. There's a lot of space on the vocal right there. It'd be nice to just like automate that completely dry, so that this little micro transition where there's a little break for a count completely dries up, and you just have that Dzzi tag right in the middle, and then it just explodes from that. But yeah, it could be nice to just create a little bit more. Yeah, just mute it out. Just bring that reverb all the way down.
It's Dzzi, baby.
Yeah, because I still hear this like stereo ambiance in the background. Nothing at all wrong with that. It still sounds fine, but it could be nice to just like, it's almost like pulling us in really, really close, and then the whole beat expands from there. Keeps it like really, really dry, really forward. I think it could be a nice contrast to the next breakdown.
It's Dzzi, baby. Dzzi, baby.
because it gets even wider there, which is great. Yeah. This is great. Sounds awesome. Great dynamics. It's crispy. There's a lot of great texture. I love it. I love it. I love it. Dzzi, this is awesome. Slight movement in the filters here. A little bit of modulation on the background synth. I love that movement because it reminds me of the intro. It's like almost a little bit of a callback here. This is the intro. That like right to left, really metallic, almost thunder feel in the background there. I love that. You have a little bit of that texture here in this buildup right here. Depending on how you want to format this, I think you could probably push that even farther, make it really interesting, really wide, like maybe even maybe you're already at 100%, but maybe even like push that synth a little farther out in your automation and the movements and pan right there. Or if it's auto panned, split the width a little bit more, 75 to, 85, 90%, whatever it may be. If it's all the way out, of course, you have some limitations there, but there's some, automation you could do to kind of hear it push to the outside just a little bit more. But I love that movement right there. And I would love for it to not feel too narrow, but it's one of the few things in this mix that actually does have stereo movement in and of itself, right? It's not just that it's left or it's right, but it actually moves it kind of in 3D throughout the mix, which I really, really love. So it'd be nice to get a little bit more of that action here because it's one of the few things that offers you that movement. I love it. Sick. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so good. Yeah, like I think you already know that transition there. I think you're already going to be putting a little bit more work into. So I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going to address that one right there. I already know you probably need to get into fine tuning and polishing that little section right there. So I'm not going to touch that too much. Yeah. You got it. I've no doubt. No doubt.
It's Dzzi, baby. Dzzi, baby.
And then let me hear the
Dzzi, baby.
same thing here. I would have a slight change in your transition here.
Dzzi, baby.
So it's the exact same tag and exact same sample from the intro, the first breakdown, and then obviously moving now into the second breakdown. There's so many different things you can do to toss some idea. You get a little alter boy, drop it down, and format shift all the way down. It's Dzzi, baby, and go into a crazy breakdown right after that has a ton of wild energy to it. It has a lot of intensity and a lot of fire behind it. I mean, you could definitely shift the energy there a little bit more too. And then, me as well as almost everyone who was here in the chat earlier agreed that they would love another section of it. There's a balancing act, of course. There's a balancing act to giving people what they want and fulfilling that need for a longer song structure and a better, a different breakdown after the A section. And there's also something to say about like leaving some to be desired, right? Where like you don't just cut it that quick, but you actually, or you do cut it that quick and you just, if you want to hear it again, you got to hear the song again. But I do like, I'm gonna hear this breakdown one more time here. I do think you could move into, I don't know, you could do something double time. You could do something with like a different synth structure right there, a different bass line, different chord. There's so many different things that you could do to kind of spice up a B section there, but I am interested. What would this sound like? So here's the first one. Nasty.
It's Dzzi, baby. Dzzi, baby.
Right, true. But it's like, because the breakdown to me doesn't really hit to those chords come in. You know what I mean? Like, and again, exactly what Nathan's saying. That's completely valid. There's a place for that. That's a completely valid take to kind of restructure things there or to keep it as is. Morton's in the building. What's up, Morton? Welcome in. Did I hear Metallica? Oh, I don't know what you actually heard, but I was talking about metallic synths, metallic sounding synth. Maybe you heard Metallica. Let me back it up here a little bit. I'm going to back it up here a little bit. I do think, because to me, the breakdown doesn't really hit, like I mentioned before, until the sample hits again. Right? This is the first drop. But this to me is still building intensity, building energy, right?
It's Dzzi, baby. Dzzi, baby.
Here, this is to me where like the full breakdown really starts at this dynamic range, kind of at the peak and the climax of the song. This is where like the breakdown really kind of hits gear, you know, and really, really takes off. That's why I think you could probably do, even if you don't do another full breakdown, I think you could do another 8 measures, kind of like just where you have the chords here with some slight shifts in sound design that would make this sound really, really powerful. Or you could keep it as is and leave them wanting a little bit more. You never know. Never know, man. There's no real right answer to that. I just know that I and several other people in the chat wanted another gear, wanted one more kind of tier to be able to push to. But y'all, please show some crazy love. Show some crazy love to the family. Dzzi right here in the chat. They're over on the Purple app right now. Love and appreciate you so much, man. This is a powerhouse record. The sound design, whoops, I'm breaking stuff. The sound design choices are phenomenal. They're really, really well done. They sound beautiful. They're snappy. They're punching. There's incredible distinction and separation between all of these different percussive elements and synth elements. Tight bass with no mud. Crystal clear and bright without anything feeling harsh or feeling really offensive in the mix or abrasive in the mix, outside of maybe some polish on the structure of your sample in there to make sure that, you know, it's not too abrasive, but it actually has maybe a little bit better control over sibilance. Beyond that, man, this is beautifully structured, great dynamics. Absolutely love the buildup, love the stereo imaging here. It's fantastic, man. 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad, Nathan. I would not be mad. You don't have to. I would not be mad about it. Wouldn't be mad about it. Show some love to Dzzi. I appreciate you so much. Quick reminder that if you would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow all of the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. These are 20 to 30 minute, absolutely, Chief, 100%. Any genre. I forgot to mention that earlier, too. I try to make sure that I remind people. Absolutely any genre, any level of quality or preparedness. We've had things all the way from voice memos to early demos to release track to Grammy-winning productions. It's all across the board. You're going to hear a lot of different genres and styles and a lot of different levels of quality. But once again, if you're on TikTok and you would like to submit for these 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultations, I got time for like 2 more. If you would like to, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. If you are over on the Purple app where Dzzi is, then you can type !submit in the chat. If you're on the Red app, starts with a Y and a T, you can go to the description for the live stream over there, and we'll get you moving in the right direction. We'll get you up on the board ready to go. Let me know. Again, it's a short live today. We're going to be in and out fairly quick, so I have time for maybe 2 more songs if anyone wants to submit, but it is going to be a little bit more concise today. Nikki, I appreciate you tapping in and welcome into the stream. I hope y'all are doing amazing. Also, if y'all are coming in for the first time, Lit Nikki, you absolutely can. Go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there so I can get you in line, and I can get all of your information, get your email, and all of that fun stuff. Thank you for the follow as well. I really appreciate that. If y'all are over on TikTok too, just make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. As well as if you are coming in for the first time, I would love to know where you're coming from. If you make music, the kind of music that you make, would love to chat for just a little bit. Caden, welcome in. Richard, welcome in. I think that's, maybe I'm saying that correctly. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Nicole's in the building. What's up, Nicole? How you feeling today? How you feeling? Let me get this moved over here. Let me get this closed up over here. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, no worries at all. Not a problem at all. I want y'all to feel like y'all can feel free to hang out in the chat. network with people, connect with people. Tep is in the building. What's up, Tep? There's never any pressure at all. So I appreciate you. And hopefully, Nikki, you can hang out. The way that we format the stream is ideally, hopefully, that everybody learns something. Everybody's able to participate in the process, even when we're doing a consultation for someone else, in order to actually get into the nuances of their song, and it can hopefully be valuable to other people as well. Just figured out how to use the sound bank for my Juno 4 MIDI. So it's been a great day. Let's go. Okay, so you're talking about just using it as a controller, using the Juno. Was it a Juno D8 or something? I can't remember exactly. But the Juno you were talking about and using it as a MIDI controller. Olaf, I absolutely can. If you would like to submit your production, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. I'm all right. Was getting my suit ready for my grandmother's funeral. She lived a great life. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope it's a beautiful celebration of her life, man. I know there's always so much emotion, so much, nuance to what you feel during times like that, man. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through that. But at the same time, I really do hope that it is a beautiful celebration of the life that she lived. Like you said, that she lived a beautiful life, man. That's all you can ask. It's all you can ask for while you're here. Sheriff, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Or Sharif, please let me know and make sure that I get it. Make sure that I get it correctly. She's inspiring me to write some nice songs. That's beautiful, man. And then what a beautiful emotional outlet it is to have creativity and to have music in order to outlet some of the emotions that you go through, man. I love that. And of course, you have the ability to actually execute that. Sharif, right? I can't remember what I said first or last. I think I said Sharif next. Thank you for joining, man. I really appreciate you being here. Tia, welcome in. Beautiful. I'm glad I got it right. Please correct me if I keep getting it wrong. But Sharif, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining the stream. Once again, y'all, if you would like to submit your music for a consultation, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that. Kamora, it's so good to see you in here. Hope you're doing fabulous. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board and we'll get you moving and grooving here. I got time for 2 more songs, and then we're out of here. 86. That is a good life. That is good life. Y'all keep tapping the screens here at the live with a few people. We can talk for a little bit as well. If y'all want to, especially for people that are coming in, talk to me a little bit about what you do. Ace of Death, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. Let me know what y'all are doing. I also might, do we like Oasis? I'm not super familiar with Oasis. Basically we've been playing tennis. That's good, Tep. That's good. TLM 103 or LCT 240. Temi Wemi, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Those are really, really different microphones. Really, wait, so Sharif. Wait, what'd you get, Sharif? I'm also a producer, and after 15 years, I finally got one. Got what? I want to know. what you're doing. They're very, very different. I wouldn't cross shop those, to be honest. I wouldn't cross shop those. I mean, you're talking about a $100 microphone and a $1,300 microphone. One that is bright, but maybe a little bit better balanced, low noise. One that is very, very bright and spacious, and a whole lot of movement at the top right. So like the TLM 103 is a very, very different microphone. I wouldn't cross shop those. It kind of really just depends on what you're looking for. Because better is very subjective. Better is very. I got my credit verified for a song on the Drake album. Which one? Talk to me, Sharif. That's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. That's amazing. Congrats, man. What a cool placement. But yeah, I wouldn't cross shop those. I recommend the LCT 240 Pro from Lewitt to so many different people. I think it is probably the best microphone for the price. If you're looking like under $200, I think it's one of the best. I'm looking for R&B mic and rap. Let me see. And so is your budget like 1,300 or 100, right? That's what I was saying. Those are two very different microphones, right? So like one is like $100 microphone, one's a $1,300 microphone. You can find them used for like 800, right? But like those are two very different worlds. So is your would you prefer your budget's lower or your budget's a bit higher? Because there's some options in between there. I don't really like the TLM 103. So just by default, I'd be like, if you have, let's say you have $800 to spend on like a mic, whether it's used or not, I would save the I would maybe get like a 440 Pure or get like an LA 320. The LA 320 is one of my favorite microphones for the price. So the Latin Audio LA 320 440. Yeah, 440 Pure is beautiful. I love it for about $300, $250, $300. I think it's one of the best mics in that price range. I get that over any of the low end warm audios like the 47 Juniors and stuff like that. I don't think you should do that. If you're looking at under $800, I think the best mic you can buy, in my opinion, this is the most versatile, is the LA320. That is a large diaphragm tube microphone. So you are going to get, it is very bright. It's very bright, but you do have, I believe, low and high cut controls, as well as different patterns, if I'm not mistaken. But they're about $700 new. You can find a first gen. The new one's better, but you can find a first gen or a used one for $500 to $600. I think it's the best mic you could buy for the price. LA320 is insanely good for the price. I almost bought one. 100%. Thank you for the heart, Sharif. I appreciate it. Yeah, TEP also has, LA320. It's from Latin Audio LA320. I think it's the best mic you can get. But it's a tube microphone, right? So you're going to get, it's a very bright microphone. So you're going to get that when you're looking for like rap and R&B, the people that love like the C800s, the people that love some of like the higher, like even like the U87 AIs, like Transformer, like you want that brightness, you want some mid forward, you want that brightness, but you also want the breakup and the saturation and the soft curve of having a tube microphone or a Transformer, whatever it may be the course that you're going. The LA320 gets a little bit of that, right? You do have a pretty good tube in there that'll get you some of that softness and some of that character and some of that crunch that you might be looking for while still being very bright. If you're looking for, again, if you're cross-shopping an TLM 103, those are insanely bright and almost brittle in my eyes. And so if you're looking for like a bright microphone, like a punchy microphone for R&B and for R&B and rap and stuff like that, I think the LA320 is fantastic. Look for one used. Get on Reverb, get on eBay, get on Facebook Marketplace. See if you can pick one up for like $500-$600 cash or something like that. Otherwise, they're about, like I said, about 700 new. If they haven't been like adjusted for tariffs or something, I can look for it actually right now. Quick reminder, y'all, I'm going to be on for just a little bit longer. If you want to submit for consultations, you can. Line is still wide open. Thank you for the Let 'Em Cook, Sharif. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the love. If you go to if you go to my profile, click on the link, you can read through and follow the details there. Sorry if I missed any questions as well. Private mentorship, nutritional. Where'd you go to school? Like, oh yeah. No, okay, you already answered it. Yeah, we got two more. I'm double checking the price really quick on the LA320, just to make sure I'm not speaking out of my ass. They're actually on sale right now for $630. They're on sale for $630 right now. They are back ordered on Sweetwater. Yeah, they're on sale, $630, but they are back ordered. So you might need to get one from Reverb or like Alto or Vintage King or something like that, or maybe Zounds. Like you might need to go a different direction, but they're there. They exist and they're fantastic. I have recommended it to several artists that I've worked with, and they've gotten them. And there's at that point, there's no real reason to upgrade unless you want to go for like a pure tube or you want to go and push for like a TF51 or TF47 from Telefunken. Like if you want to kind of get into that next phase, then there's some potential there as well. Kamora's in the building. Torvik again, power went out, but I heard everything. Thank you for listening again. Dzzi, thank you so much for coming back. I didn't know where you went, but it is all saved. It is all saved if you want to go back and re-reference anything at all. But Dzzi, I appreciate you so much. We got Kamora in the building. We got Kamora, I think. Hold on. Let me double check. Yeah, we do. We got Kamora in the building. Aiton, good to see you. Aiton, I hope you're doing fantastic today. Welcome in. Last two songs, y'all. Last two songs. People think the C800G is the ultimate mic, and it's not as good as people put it in their heads. And that's the whole conversation, right? It's like not as good is so subjective. For some people, it's great. It's very expensive to be that great for certain people, right? So if I had an opportunity to get a C800 and I had, let's say 12, 13 grand to drop on one, I do think it could be, it can be worth it for the right person. It can be worth it for the right person, but it's also not going to be worth it for the other person. The only microphone that I have, the only two microphones that I have never heard anyone say they didn't like in any different scenario was the ALAM 251E and like a vintage 67. I've never, like, every single person that I know that has one, or any time that I've had a chance to be a part of the process of using one of them, I've never heard a bad sound come out the other end of that. Even it's like I don't know, even like not the greatest sources sometimes just shine through those things. It is, it's crazy. Okay, let's get into here. We got Kamora in the building, like I said. Then one more song after that. If you want to submit, you still can. But it's gonna be a little bit shorter today. Any day, Teb. Any day. Talking about the schedule. I mean, in the what is it? Oh, it is a little bit different. So I typically, I mention this every once in a while. I typically do these live streams after I'm done with all of my other work for the day. So it can tend to be pretty random, just depending on the other work that I have going on. It can depend on the amount of sessions that I have, the mixing that I'm doing, the projects I have earlier in the day. It depends on a lot of factors. So it's not very consistent right now. Unfortunately, I can tell you that tomorrow I will be live earlier. Tomorrow I will be live earlier because I'm going to take the afternoon off doing some other stuff. So it is very random. I usually try at the end of the live to kind of let people know maybe when the next one is, but I usually just recommend make sure you're following, make sure you got like notifications turned on for live streams. I do have a group on Instagram that I don't even know if I updated them today because it's so short, but that I update when I'm about to go live, and that can be helpful. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a little bit earlier. Okay, let's get it. We got Kamora in the building. Kamora, hop in the chat. Just let me know that you're here. Yeah, vintage 67. If I had 12 grand to drop on a microphone and I could get my hands on, like, I mean, a vintage 67 is probably 9 or 10, I would say now, 9 or 10-ish. I would love to. That's the 251E and a vintage 67 are kind of like two of my North Star microphones. I will have them one day. When? Who knows? Who knows? Heike, haven't hopped on for a hot minute. Kamora, it's so good to see you in here. So good to see in here. I appreciate it. All right. We got this on Spotify. This is Almost Fluent by Kamora. Produced, recorded, and mixed and mastered by Kamora right here in the chat. Let's get it. This is one of the family in here. It's so good to see you in here. Give me all the details. Let me know. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to dive in specifically. I know the song is released, so we'll keep that in mind as well. But this is Almost Fluent by Kamora. Show them some love here in the chat. If you like what you hear, then make sure that you go and stream the song. Go like it. Go add it to your playlist. Go follow on Spotify. All that fun stuff. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's see. Where did the song go? Almost Fluent. Boom. And this is all done by Kamora. It's a crazy amount of money. It's a car.
I'm almost fluent in the way you speak, a language only you would know. And so the way that you look at me,
Okay.
but every word was all for
I like different.
show. Saying what you mean, but I'm stuck in between. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know where to place my heart. I wish you would understand, but you got the upper hand on me. I don't know how to even start. I don't wanna waste time, and I don't wanna waste your love, and I don't wanna push and shove. Saying this, do you mean it? I don't think I can push my luck. Hearing you ain't enough to understand the message I'm saying. What you feel inside, so now I wanna know what's in your mind. I don't know what to say.
This is reminding me of like kind of like 2010s pop rock, like the Ready Set, like some of those bands then.
Thinking if love is hard to find, I know there's a million reasons why. If love is a language, can I understand? Why can't I understand yours? 'Cause I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know where to place my.
What's up, Retrack? Welcome in.
I wish you would understand, but you got the upper hand on me. I don't know how to even start.
Short and sweet, it's concise, it's punchy. Let's go. Show some love to the family. Kamora right here in the building. It's got that hyper pop, glitchy, noisy, busy movement to it that I think is very typical of this genre. I think you nailed that in the production as well. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Give it up for Kamora right here in the chat. Once again, that's the family. We love Kamora so much. The song is called Almost Fluent. It is out on all platforms, so please go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist. Go follow on DSPs, all that fun stuff. Retrack, thank you for the heart me. I hope you're doing fabulous. Hope you're doing fabulous tomorrow, tonight. Whatever day it is, tomorrow. All right, let's get into it. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. This is Almost Fluent by Kamora. We're going to run it from the top. We're going to dive into a couple things. One of the few bullet points so we can move a little bit faster too. One of the few things that I do wish we had a little bit of on here was some manual correction in vocal. There's a couple times. So this is G major if I'm... your main progression line right there, right? So there's a couple times where you're halfway between. We talked about this before with many different artists. There's some balancing acts that are happening between a couple notes between a semitone where you're halfway between the notes. So you hear auto-tune, auto-correcting sometimes to the intended note and sometimes to the non-intended note below it. So you get this really, really quick modulation. And since you have a fast retune speed on the vocal, it's more obvious, right? If it's a really slow retune speed and it's a bit more humanized, a little bit more flexible, then of course you're going to get a little bit more natural movement right there, and it'll just sound like a vibrato or just slightly out of tune. But in this case, because your retune speed is fairly fast, 1510 or below, since it's pretty fast, your humanizing is pretty low as well. You can hear the modulation happening between those different pitches that you're halfway between, right? So if you got 100 cents between each semitone, it's like you're modulating between 45 and 55 cents. And so because you're between those two, sometimes it corrects up and then sometimes it sets down. Beyond thing I said at 20 something else I left it at. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Kamora. That's just a faster retune speed. But what that means is when there's mistakes in the pitch structure, when autotune is fighting between different pitches, like different semitones, in order to correct to the key, but it doesn't really know quite in between where it needs to go. When you have, anything under like 40, to be honest, you're going to hear it a little bit more distinctly. I'll walk you through a couple moments that happens in the song so you can hear exactly what I'm talking about. I would prefer that you utilize Melodyne before that, or even an ARA, depending on the DAW that you're using. So it's just printed directly to the track, and utilize Melodyne to just lock those notes like dun 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 dun. So it doesn't go dun 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 dun, right? Where it's like right in there. Autotune was almost, yeah, it's a tasteful name. It's a tasteful name that all makes sense. Yeah, Melodyne or graph mode on Autotune, exactly. Whichever one makes the most sense for you, obviously, depending on what you have. Retrack, thank you so much for the Go Popular, man. I appreciate that a lot. But I would highly recommend that those are placed, because there's a couple times in here where, because when the note when it starts going between pitches, right? It starts automatically correcting to different pitches. It makes the note feel more unstable. It makes it feel a little bit more, it makes it feel weaker. It doesn't feel like it punches as much. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to the vocal line just hitting right down the middle, it has this instability to it and this uncertainty to it because the pitch is not really doing what you want it to do. If everything's lined up and then all of your harmonies and all of your doubles and everything is lined up and it's really matched in pitch and harmonic structure, you're going to be in a beautiful place. It's going to have so much more weight to it. So that's one thing I would look at. Let's run it from the top. We'll chop through a couple things really quick. Quick reminder, y'all, this is your last chance to submit. I got time for one more, and that is it. And we're out of here. Should I snap on a chord scale on Melodyne? It just depends. That can be a quick way to like align a lot of things, but it can also be one of the quickest ways to like knock a bunch of close notes to not your intended note, and then you have weird formant shifts and stuff that happen where you're like, ooh, I'm trying to hit a B, and trying to hit a B, but Melodyne dropped it all the way down to an A, and now you're not even sure really where your melody went. I prefer to go in and maybe select smaller groups of notes that I know are where I want them to be, and control pitch shift and stuff like that, and maybe take smaller groups and connect them to the scale. That way it's a little bit closer. And then if there's something where like, ooh, this is not really lining up the way that I want it to, then just go in manually and listen to the note. When you hold down on the note, you can hear where it's playing, and then shift it into place. Or if you need to recenter the note and drag it around, just double tap on the note. That's one quick way to recenter it. So if you have like your key scale right here, and you have a note that's kind of like right here, it's like floating towards the bottom. You're like, I don't really know if I should go farther down. Double tap it and it'll notch it straight into the middle of that pitch, so you know exactly where it's supposed to be. That makes it a little bit easier, and then you can drag it around from there. But where you drag it around will be in scale. It'll be in lock with what you want it to be. And mistakes, learn the most from it. 100%. Yeah, and like you said earlier, if you feel up to it, you can always, re-upload the WAV file to distribution and update the file. Nothing wrong with that. Or keep learning, keep growing, keep doing it in the next song. David Givens, thank you for the go. I appreciate you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. It's good to see you in the chat. But let's run it, y'all. Like I said, one more song after this, and that's it. Let's run it. That's a different song. Where did it go? Here we go. Where did it go? There we go. There we go. But I do like, again, with this kind of hyper pop movement that you have here, like I do like the busyness and the noise, and that's probably going to be the first thing that people listen to. Like, this sounds noisy, sounds busy. I like a lot of that that's going on. It's very typical. It's very typical of the structure right here. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. No, if you send it in, we'll close the line. If you send it in, we'll close the line. It is not too late. We just got time for one more. I'm not really even like too mad at the balance here. Like I don't mind it. This is very different from you. It's very different for you, but I don't mind the balance. Again, it's kind of noisy. There's sometimes I wish the drums were a little punchier. They had a little bit more weight to them. But for the most part, it's a kind of a wild balance and a little out of control in some places, but I don't really mind. I'm not too worried about it. One of the only things, because just left it, hey, dude, it happens. Not everything has to be so scientific. I want people to keep that in mind as well. As much as we talk about super deep technical analytical things in here, sometimes not everything has to be like too scientific for you. You know what I mean? Like, go off vibe, go off the way something makes you feel, go off the way like that. You're like, man, this chord is like off key, but it gives this tension that I just like somehow. Maybe just turn it down in the mix a little bit so it's not like abrasive. But I think there's often times where, especially someone like me who loves the analytical side, obviously, who loves really getting into the details, there's some times where I have to be like, dude, turn off the science brain, like turn off the physics brain and turn off the engineer sometimes and just listen to the song. Like, just listen to what's in front of you, enjoy the music. And if there's anything standing in the way of that enjoyment, address it. But sometimes you can get too technical, let the flow 100%. Okay, let's keep it rolling. So there's this, I think it's like a third at the top. Let me switch pianos real quick. There's like a third at the top here that hits every time in between. You have this like hits every time at the top right there. It's like a GB or something like that. Let's see. Metzen, I got you. Excuse me. I got you. Got hiccups. All right, we're closing it up. Closing it up. That is going to be the last song up on the board. I appreciate you so much. Let me go ahead and close it up here. Beautiful. Boom. Let me close it over here really quick. And then as soon as I get that email in, we'll close it up with that last one there. Beautiful. I appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for tapping in. Same place you sent the credit. You'll see an email at the top. Just read through those first steps, and then you'll see an email there you can send it to. Okay. All right. Let's run into it. Miss Erica, we're still rolling. We're still rolling for a little bit. We got to finish this song, and then we'll do one more song after this. Okay. So here, off the G it works. Then we go to a B minor. Feels a little bit awkward on the B minor again because we're kind of hitting this. That's kind of happening right here. It works. Here on a piano, it sounds fine because it's like all real cohesive. But between a couple different instruments, it's a little nasty. And then here. And I think on the D, I think there's a D major as well. A little bit of tension there between different instruments. So little things like that. If you were to go back, I would just probably pull that element back in the mix a little bit and let it be more of just an accent in the background, potentially even carving out some of the mids and lows a little bit farther out too. So it's just a little stab of brightness on the right side a little bit, as opposed to being one of the main lead elements, because I do like what it's doing. I like that it exists there. I like that it's just kind of a third sitting, but I think because there's a fair amount of tension in the G and B right there. The G and B right there feels a little bit awkward through half of the chords, but the other half of the chords, you know, they work pretty well and they feel really cohesive. Like, you know, when you're on the G and the E minor, sounds brilliant. You know, sounds really, really clean. But sometimes when you're hitting like you're getting some tension from like that's the E minor, but the B minor. Okay. Okay, my song is not balanced too. Not a problem at all. Not a problem. Lit, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's never any pressure at all. We will be live again tomorrow morning. We'll be live. You know, we're not going anywhere. We've been doing these live streams for like 3.5 years. We've been doing them for a long time. So there's plenty of time. Feel free to hang out. Feel free to kind of see what we're all about. You know, hang out with the people in the chat. You know, network and collaborate with people. And then if and whenever you have an opportunity, I would love to hear what you're working on, what you got to do. Okay, let's run this a little bit deeper. Yeah, you're getting some tension just between those different elements because it walks down from the E minor, D major, C major, and then between the right there, right? You're getting some tension. Now, if it was all one instrument, like the piano sounds fine, it might be a little bit different. But I think because it's a totally different feel. This is the only live I joined, to be honest. Thank you, Erica Hart. That means a lot. That really does mean a lot. I appreciate that a lot. I've been producing since around September, and I'm so happy there's still more to learn. Always. Kamora, I've been producing quite literally since I was like 11 years old. Okay? So for me, that's like 21 years. I don't know how old I am. It's like 21 years, okay? I've been, producing and actually like formulating tracks. Not great, but I have been chipping away at the process of producing for 21 years at least. Been making music and doing stuff for almost a decade before that. And so I've been doing it and I'm constantly still learning new stuff. I'm constantly just learning from other artists, other producers, other engineers, learning from myself and my own experiences, my own failures, my own, trials and trying to figure stuff out. Like you're always learning. And if you're not, then you got a problem you got to work out. If you feel like at some point you've made it and I don't even care if you got a Grammy and Billboard charts and whatever. If you feel like you got nothing to learn, then you are on a downward turn and you're going to lose a lot of what you have. And so I think it's vital to stay learning. It's vital to keep learning and stay engaged with your craft and improve over time and all that stuff. Anyway, okay. So even right? There's these little melodies right here. And then when you dip down in the vocal, you hear, woo, and then it pops back in, right? You hear it modulate between a couple different pitches, and then it goes and it tracks back up on the falsetto a little bit, right? And then it slides back up a little bit, but it sounds a little out of tune as it slides back up, probably because you said you're let's say 25 milliseconds on your retune speed. That means there's a little bit of time for it to not catch that pitch and drag it into place. So it's going to feel a little smoother on the transition. That's fine, but it allows a little bit of time, since we're off pitch there a little bit, for it to actually sound off pitch before it corrects. Let's hear it again real quick. I would love it. I would love for that to feel, that's, a little more pointed. For that to feel like more pointed, more right on the note right there. And that's where those manual corrections are going to come in, so that you don't get that it's kind of sliding around a little bit. It's going to make it feel a little bit more pointed. Those manual corrections are going to give you that consistency. It's going to give you that punch right there. So that's what I would be looking for. What's up, Ben Verdi? I'll be live again tomorrow morning. I'm not positive on the exact time, but it'll be tomorrow morning. There's a lot of this that I love, though. There's a lot of this that I love, but it's those inconsistencies that are going to make it feel more unstable, right? And it's going to be harder to even understand as a listener of the music, what pitch do I, if your pitch is modulating a lot, it's moving around a lot, then what do I do as the listener to the music? How do I find like my vocal? What do I sing with you if it's moving around a little bit too much? Came back with the milk slim. It's so good to see you, dude. I hope you're doing amazing, man. I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you for joining the stream. It's good to see that name in the chat.
But I'm stuck in between. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to you. I don't know.
Thank you for the rose.
my heart.
Yeah, that's good, clean melodic structure there, right? As far as pitch goes, and then of course there'll be some some wobbling that happens a little bit later on. But those are those little moments that I want you to take care of there. One of the things I want to hear real quick.
I don't know what to say.
Listen to how loud. So this is going to be between different tracks. So just this is actually all Kamora. They produced it, they sang it, they wrote it, they mixed it. This is a couple artists up, Kamora. There's a couple parts in here where you'll hear a pretty big jump in amplitude between a couple different parts right here, right? So here, listen to the end of the verse and then hear how when you start the hook, probably on a separate track, there's a big jump in energy. It sounds like it's like 4 or 5 dB quieter. That control over dynamic range, I would try to tighten up a little bit and make sure that when you are layering in your hook and you're building, your like gain staging and stuff like that on like your hook vocals on that track, make sure that your levels are in a place where they're at least matched or layered appropriately so that the amplitude feels more consistent. Because I'll listen to the end of the verse here. So that feels like it jumps back by 4 or 5 dB, right? Just in loudness right now. What you're doing is great. But as far as loudness goes, as far as amplitude goes, you have this in between. I don't know what to do. It feels way quieter. The register is different. That's part of it, but I think it's also a little bit maybe proximity and just mixed balance. So on those moments, there's a couple times where that happens where the levels just feel a little bit inconsistent. I'm kind of assuming some of that is happening between different tracks that you layer. Like if you're punching in on different tracks, maybe you adjusted a compressor on one of them, forgot to copy that track down to the other one, or whatever it may be. Or you sing quieter, you backed off the mic a little bit and that track is quieter. Controlling those dynamics and controlling when things feel loud or they feel quieter is going to be really important here. Because right now, the verse feels really, really loud all the time. And then the hook kind of feels really, really loud all the time, but then the voice gets quiet kind of randomly. So it's inconsistent sometimes. I would love for your verses to feel like a little bit more restrained dynamically. Like maybe you pull, exactly, Tep. The energy is consistent. Dynamics are consistent the whole time. It's all noisy. It's all busy. I like the noise and busy, but it has to have its place. So I would love to maybe feel a little bit more restrained even if it's a future song, more restrained in your dynamics on the first part. So like on the verses, maybe there's not as much synthesis going on, or it's more restrained. Maybe some of it's filtered down. Maybe the vocal is a little bit more controlled. And then going to the hook, I don't know what to do. When you go into like the hook right there and there's more energy behind it, that feels actually like a jump. It actually feels like we've shifted into something bigger, louder, so on and so on. Right now, you don't get a lot of that transition and dynamics right there. I would love to get a little bit more of that. All right, let's get into the second section here.
To say to you, I don't know where to place my heart. I wish you would understand, but you got the upper hand on me. I don't know how to even start.
That's a great melody. I mean, it's a very catchy hook. That is a really good melody. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of this I love.
You're thinking of all the memories. Well, I'm thinking if you're meant for me.
You hear those little jumps, those little pops kind of in the background right there in the pitch as it kind of moves up a little bit. There's a little bit of a bridge breakdown here. But you still have the lead arpeggio. You still have a lot of the energy at the top right there, right? And so even in this, I would love for this to even just go down to like a low digital piano and a pad, like a low synth pad or something with maybe some like percussive, like, rhythmic sequencing in the background, right? Something that's like a little bit tighter. There's still there's still this huge arpeggio in the background. So even though you took out all the drums and like the 808, it still kind of feels loud even in these quieter portions. So that's where I think we can control dynamics a little bit better. But listen to the vocal structure here.
Thinking of all the memories.
Listen to all the, you hear the little dips right there, kind of in the background. Let me move it back for a sec.
You're thinking of all the memories. Well, I'm thinking if you're meant for me. Reading between your lines.
So those double track guitars are still going crazy. I think there's ways that we can control that to where when they come back in on the hook, feels crazy, feels very, very dynamic.
Soon as I come running back to you, thinking if love is hard to find. I know there's a million reasons why.
Same thing there. Be like the million reasons. You see the modulation and the pitch right there, controlling that, manually placing that exactly where you want it to be.
Love is a language, can't understand. Why can't I?
Because it just makes it feel more powerful. It makes it feel more in control. Like, you know, it just feels more controlled, more polished, more consistent in a production structure that's very on the grid. It's very quantized. It's very controlled. It's very like polished as far as like where everything sits. Everything's perfectly in key. Everything's perfectly in time, so on and so on. To me, if you have like a big difference in the way that the vocal that relates to that part of the production, it's going to sound even worse. When everything's perfect and polished on the grid, perfect VST mix, right? And then you have vocals that have a lot of inconsistencies in pitch, that's going to make it feel very distinct from the rest of it. Those mistakes will feel more distinct, especially at a decently fast retune speed, so on and so on, right? So that's where I would just make sure that's a big deal to make sure that your vocal has good pitch control and throughout the whole course of the song. You should teach a mixing class. I've thought about ways to do that. What I would like to do actually even more than that, Erica, is create free videos for YouTube and maybe some stuff like on Patreon. Like we do have a Patreon, but like we still have some like artist help and stuff on there that I think is still really helpful for people. I have some other not necessarily classes, but like videos and prints and stuff like that people can use to help like reference what they're doing. And I would like to add a lot more to the Patreon as well. Teaching a class can be a little bit chaotic and can be a lot, but I do want to post more about this stuff, like on YouTube specifically, of like how to make certain things, like five mistakes that I see people making and like mixing their vocals and stuff like that. Like and do a whole 45-minute video on tuning pop vocals, tuning rock vocals, mixing live drums, like stuff like that. I want to do a lot more of that. And the good thing is that hopefully y'all can just watch it for free in those instances, or maybe get a deeper dive on Patreon, so on and so on. But those are some of the things that I would really like to do a lot more of. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun world to be in. It can be confusing, but I think there's a lot of fog that you can clear by just learning some of the language behind a lot of it, and it doesn't feel so overwhelming to dive into. Again, there are some great little chops and great little pauses and stuff in here that I absolutely love. So Kamora, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot that I really, really enjoy.
I don't know what to say. I don't know where to place my heart. I wish you would understand, but you got the upper hand on me. I don't know how to even start.
Yeah, right. 100%. Dictionary mixing, 100%. Y'all show some love. That is Kamora. It is called Almost Fluent. It is out on all platforms. So if you like what you hear, and you should, shout out to Kamora. They produced, mixed, performed, wrote everything. If you like what you hear, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go like the track, go follow on Spotify, follow here on TikTok, of course. Show them some love and support. I really, really enjoy what you're doing. So a huge shout out to Kamora. Just started producing in like September, I think. So they're very, very fresh to producing. They've been an artist for a little while now. But it's really, really cool to see what you're doing and hear what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. So please, one more time. Okay. Metin, let me know. I have 2 links here, but they're text files. I appreciate you so much. They're text files, so just make sure that you send an MP3 or a WAV or SoundCloud link or YouTube or whatever it may be. But yeah, let me know. Right now it's sent to like HTML links, and so it won't open here as an audio file. So just do me a huge favor, make sure that we get the audio files in here. Yeah, the only thing here is 2 HTML files. That's the only thing that's in the email. So double check it really quick. DTSK, the GOAT, the myth, the legend. What's up, dude? It's so good to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome in. All right, y'all, last song. do that. I want to do something here with just like a obnoxious amount of reverb. Let's. Reverb is just such a fun thing where it's like you can do nothing and it sounds so. Beautiful. Send another song. Okay, let me double check this here. I have. Yes, it's true. It's true. What program is best for beginners to record and mix? It kind of depends. Everyone's it's just one of those interesting things. I don't want to give you a BS answer. It's one of those interesting things, but it kind of just depends on the way your brain works. I learned like mixing for dummies. Yeah, I mean, I learned Pro Tools when I was 12 years old, and I was not a genius. I'm not a genius child. I was not some prodigy. Like, I learned Pro Tools when I was 12 years old, and what I liked about Pro Tools was it was pretty easy, right? Like I went in here and I was like, well, how do I add things? And I just like went in here. I was like, oh, here's reverb, here's delay, here's harmonics, here's instruments, here's effects, like whatever. Like everything seemed to kind of make sense. I would like switch over here. I was like, wait, here's my mixer, right? And I would go and I would be like, oh, so here's the name of the track. There's piano right there, and I can see it. And here's, it was like it's like, oh, well, how do I change the name? I'll double click on the name and like, oh, there's how you. As soon as I double click the name, I can change the name. Like, I don't know. It was very easy for me. It wasn't very complex for me to get into it and get into Pro Tools. I like Pro Tools for that reason. I feel like everything, once you know the language, which I think is most important anyways, once you know the language, it's fairly easy to know where to find certain things. Like I'll just click record. I'll click S for solo. I'll click M for mute. Do I want to see a waveform or volume? Like, do I want to open an automation lane? I just click the automation lane button. Do I want to change the automation from volume to different things? I do it really easily. So it's like, I think for me, it depends on a lot of things. I do think from an interface standpoint, yeah, like Rico says, I navigate easy on FL. I hate FL. I don't hate FL. I actually really like FL for I have FL Studio as well as Pro Tools, but I really like FL for certain things. I hate tracking vocals and like playlisting vocals on FL Studio. I think it's a nightmare. So for those reasons, so like so on and so on, right? It can be really frustrating. I think one of the easiest interfaces, I think is probably Logic. And if, again, like you said, kind of getting into it, you want to keep it really simple. I think one of the easiest interfaces for the lowest barrier to entry Logic is $200, and it has been for like 20 years. It's $200, or you can get the subscription with them. $200 is hard to beat. You know what I mean? Baseline FL is like $100 to $200. Ableton has smaller ones, but Ableton, you're looking at $500 to $800. Pro Tools, I mean, I spend $500 a year almost on Pro Tools. It gets really expensive. So if you want like a low barrier to entry, you could maybe start on exactly. Yeah, they all step up. If you want to, but FL or Logic doesn't. So you could start with Logic, and it's $200, or like start with Garage. If you have a MacBook, of course, start with GarageBand, get used to that. It's a similar interface, and then bump up to Logic. Logic is GarageBand on steroids. You're going to get a lot better, original sounds. You're going to get a lot better you have Adele. So then I don't think you can get, I don't know. Actually, I'm actually not positive. I don't think you can get GarageBand on there. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm not really biased with DAWs. I think everyone should just use what makes sense to them once you have access to what you can afford, and then stick with it. I think that's one of the other important things is like get a DAW and then use it for 5 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like get really used to it. If you're on a Dell, Studio One is great. I think Pro Tools is great. There's cheap version. There's a version of Pro Tools that's simple. It's like $10 a month, something like that. I think it's $10 a month. You can get like up to 32 tracks in there, I believe, something like that. Yeah, Luna, Universal Audio is great. Like there's a lot out there now. There's a ton out there. There's a ton out there right now. There's nothing wrong with getting a demo of Pro Tools or whatever, and get in for $10, then you can upgrade from there. Try Studio One, and see how you like that. Those are going to give you, I think, the biggest growth path. If you're not going to get Logic because you can't Leo, thank you for the follow. If you're not going to get Logic because you don't have access, then I think the best growth paths are like, what is going to give me the ability to stick with this for the longest period of time and be able to. I know what you do. You do a lot of live tracking, right? So you're doing a lot of vocal tracking, instrument tracking, vocal playlisting, comping, stuff like that. Because you're not a producer, a beat maker in the sense, since you're not a beat maker, I wouldn't go the routes of Ableton, FL, Reason, that space over there, because those are biased in their UIs for those things. They're the best for those things. If you are biasing towards live tracking, mixing interfaces, comping, vocal playlisting, stuff like that, I think Studio One, Logic, and Pro Tools are the best at it, have the best interfaces for it. So whichever one of those makes the most sense to you, I think I would run with. If you can't get Logic, then I would go with either Studio One or Record All at Once. Yeah, 100%. Exactly, Kamora. They're great for that stuff. But if you're tracking like live mic'd drums and playlisting vocals and comping constantly, then I think Pro Tools or Studio One is probably. Logic is great for it too, but that aside, I think I would go with one of those two. Okay, it did the same thing, men. It did the same thing. It sent me there. The file is 1 KB, so it's not even a kilobyte. It's ATT00001.htm. It's just sending 2 HTML files. I don't know why, because I don't know what's happening on the other end. It's got to come in. It's got to come into the email somehow because I have to get it. What you can do, you can upload it to SoundCloud. You can. Yeah, that's weird. I really don't know why it's doing that. You could upload it to SoundCloud unlisted or YouTube unlisted. You could send it to me as a Dropbox. You could send it to me to a Dropbox. You could send it to me through WeTransfer, something like that. You could try that. Well, our lead guitar player had it all figured out and then he quit. Oof, that's tough. That's not fun. That's not fun, Erica. Y'all figure it out. You'll get it back. You'll get it back. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, that's never fun. Happened to a buddy of mine in Dallas. I actually bought some gear off of him, some drum gear, and he was an incredible drummer, but he was in a jazz band. So they were doing a lot of like smooth jazz and some fusion stuff up in Dallas at some like different venues and stuff like that. And they were all crushing it. They were doing all this fun stuff. And all of a sudden, their rhythm guitar player, who was also their like music director and was like mixing for them and stuff like that when they were recording, he's like, hey, I just can't do this anymore. And they were like, well, shoot, I just don't know what to do anymore. Having got this is in a couple weeks. So since I'm tech savvy once again, let's go, dude. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, you'll handle it. I have no doubts. If you are speaking to everyone, if you're somewhat competent, you can figure it out. Like I'm saying, I'm no prodigy. I'm no just like brilliant 12-year-old who just had an eye and an ear for Pro Tools. It was Pro Tools 5 at the time too. It was PT5, Pro Tools 5 through my Inbox Mini. Like that's what I learned Pro Tools on. It was brutal. It wasn't nearly as good as it was even now. And it's fun. But I would definitely like follow Avid. If you do go the Pro Tools route or you go the Studio One route, which is PreSonus. If you go that route, or I don't know if it's Fender now. It's all weird, but whatever route you end up going down, I would lean into it. I would lean into it, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, follow their pages, like follow Avid. They'll have tutorials on there for like, there's a ton of them like on Avid's YouTube channel of like tutorials of like how to add a track, right? Like the simple stuff. How do I add a track? How do I add an automation lane? How do I like, add inserts and like stuff like that? Mixing power for mixing on YouTube and Instagram, 100%. How much RAM you got? Are you talking to me, Rico, or Erica? Because she has the Dell. I have a MacBook Pro. Or are you talking to me? If you're talking to me, I have a M2 Max MacBook Pro. I have 32 gigs. Yeah, it's a 16-inch M2 Max and 32 gigs. 32 gigs of RAM and a terabyte on, and then a couple terabytes off. for session storage and stuff like that. But yeah, 32 is what I'm running currently. I get it. I'm like kind of with you there, Erica. I think for what I do, I think it's the easiest to organize what I do. I think the interface for what I do to me is I've had both. I did a custom build PC that was decked out that I did for a production suite, and I had that for a couple years, I think, and was running FL on there at the time in Pro Tools, and it drove me nuts. I've done both, and I keep going back to the ecosystem of Apple for stuff like music production. I have no scientific reasoning behind it. I just feel like it handles these projects better. I don't know. Maybe it's also just for me, it's the cohesiveness of like, I'm bouncing between a bunch of different projects. I just need to like airdrop a file over here and then pull it from my computer and then dump it over here to something else. Like if I'm going to another studio, just plug and play a little bit. Like it's more typical, but most of the major studios are running like, Mac Pros and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of just like trying to be cohesive with the ecosystem as well. But everything's very plug and play in my studio right now. And that, Mac has been the best thing for that, but it doesn't mean you can't deck out, something else and make it work. But I do recommend if you're using a DAW to, at least have probably, 16 gigs, minimum 8, but at least 16 gigs of RAM. Okay. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I'm looking for it. I'll have to go pretty quick when we get into it because we're taking a while getting in there. Okay, sounds good. I'll have to move fairly quickly. So I have a hard out at like 7:20. Let's see. Got the link. Let's see if it opens up. It did. Okay, let's get into it. Let's run it. Okay, this is Trauma by Mitten. Give me all of the I've heard your music before, Mitten, right? Unless it's a different person, because I obviously some names. But I'm pretty sure I've heard your stuff unless it's under a different name. I just want to double check. Yeah. I was like, I'm positive. Okay, let's get into it. Just update me on what you're doing, the role that you play in your music. Of course, let the chat know what you do as well. But let's get into it. This is Trauma version 4 by Mitten. And I think Zavs, maybe, if I'm saying that correctly, Zavs and Mitten. So yeah, give me all the details. Let me know what you're doing on this record. Let's dive in. Last one, y'all, and then we'll get out of here. Singer-songwriter? What about the production on this? Is that Zavs?
En klubblokad men jag känner mig helt vilse. En drink är fine men jag känner för något mer. Vi måste ha något annat. För jag bär på trauma. Jag bär på trauma. Man har sett allt kommer alltid vara samma. They once real once a star.
Okay, cool. Zavs is a feature maybe?
Men det kvittar vart vi hamnar. En till bara tills vi landar. Vi är på tiden.
Cool.
Känns som klockan slår i takt med musiken. Jag trauman i mitt huvud, den är kvar. Du frågar vart jag är och vart jag ska. Men vet du vad? Om jag visar i min värld alla såren som jag bär, är du med mig då? Med mig då? För jag lever som jag lär. Om vi hamnar i misär, är du med mig då? Med mig då? Klockan är 2 om man ger till sig. En klubblokal men jag känner mig helt vilse. En drink är fine men jag känner för något mer.
Is this you in the hook?
Jag måste ha något annat. För jag bär på trauma. Jag bär på trauma. Man har sett allt kommer alltid vara samma. They once real once a star.
Swedish, I believe.
Jag bär på trauma. Vart överallt men det kvittar vart vi hamnar. En till bara tills vi landar. Min grabb säger jag var gone. Jag svarade the night is young. 2 strikes men jag håller mig calm. Jag är så lost men har blivit så van. Hon frågar mig vad som kan distract dig. Jag ser att hon testar mig. Jag må vara gone men håller mig classy. Gör allt för att hejda sig. En gång till. Tiden rinner fast det känns som den står still. En gång till. Bozen hinkar så vi fastnar men det är chill. En gång till. Klipper bort allting som distract me. Jag vet att jag kan vara kall. För min trauma talar i natt. Klockan är 2 om man ger till sig. En klubblokal men jag känner mig helt vilse. En drink är fine, men jag känner för något mer. Vi måste ha något annat. För jag bär på trauma. Jag bär på trauma.
That's a vibe.
Man har sett allt, kommer alltid vara samma. Day one's real, once a standard. Jag bär på trauma. Vart överallt, men det kvittar vart vi hamnar. En till bara tills vi landar.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Last song of the day, 100% tap. Last song of the day, that is Zavs and Metin. It's right here in the chat as well. The song is called Trauma. We just got it on SoundCloud right now. Hopefully coming to platforms very soon. And then someone named Flex is who produced it. Balance on the production, I don't mind as well. It feels nice and clean and bright and punchy and all that fun stuff. To me, the biggest thing for me is like compression and EQ on the vocals. It's just very, very suppressed. So the vocal to me feels very, very, very highly compressed and highly suppressed in a lot of ways, to where you get this really like sharp poppiness out of the vocal and snappiness out of the vocal. Some of that I want, but I also want this to feel like smooth and even and vibey. And it's a little bit abrasive. So you get this really snappiness out of this big snap out of the vocal. And then on the other side of that, a big high push as well. So like your sibilance, top into the vocal, 9K, 10K hertz is cranked up, several dB higher than I think my ears would like them to be, to where the vocal feels not only really heavy and compressed, but it also then feels kind of bright and a little bit harsh to listen to as well. I think if you just loosen both of those a little bit, like the more exaggerated curves on your vocal, like the, low end boost, 100 hertz. So like that low end right there, and the high end where it's really bright and brittle. If that's softened just a little bit, so it's not as extreme. And on the compression side, you loosen that threshold just a little bit, maybe slow down the attack a hair too. The attack is too fast. You get this kind of this snap and this transience on the beginning of that vocal that can make it sound a little bit more abrasive to listen to, especially if it's a really harsh compression. So maybe slow down your attack just a little bit more, let the vocal come in a little bit more naturally, and soften it a little bit, and then raise the threshold so you're just maybe getting a little bit less reduction on it, depending on how many chains of compression that you have. Those two things to me just alone right there will soften this mix a little bit, again on the EQ and compression side. And I think you'll be in a better place. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple things here, and I gotta move fairly quick, but hopefully even just that right there helps polish this and move it forward a little bit more. But I love the vibe, man. Absolutely love the energy. It's got a really, really great aesthetic to it. Balancing for the most part, I think is pretty consistent. Line is closed. We will be live again tomorrow morning. Not exactly sure on the time, but we'll be live again tomorrow morning. So definitely tap in then. Make sure that you're following. But the line is closed for tonight. All right, let's run it from the top.
Flexing on the track.
Klockan är 2 och man ger till sig. En klubblokal, men jag känner mig helt vilse. En drink är fine, men jag känner för något mer. Vi måste ha något annat.
Yeah, because the actual I really like the vibe of the vocal, and I actually like what it's doing. I like the way that it's performed. It's very chill. It's very laid back. There's good quality recording in here, it seems like, for the most part. So like there's a lot that I actually really like about the performance here, and like about what's going on in the song structure. It's just a little exaggerated on the vocal production side. So like I said, EQ, compression, stuff like that. Some of those curves in there are just a little bit too sharp for me. And again, the thing that I always keep in mind, especially when I'm talking with artists and songwriters and stuff like that, is just making sure everything points in the same direction. The whole vibe of this production is has the potential to be very warm, very soft, very easy to listen to, right? Like if the whole production, I hear like harps in the background and waves, and there's some like Foley and stuff like that. Like it has this really natural, organic sound, classic house, like 2010s classic house. Like there's a lot in there that is really soft, organic, and natural to listen to. And so if you have this over exaggerated curve on the vocal, it tends to like separate it from the production a lot, where it feels like 2-track vocal and it feels very distinct from each other as opposed to feeling connected. Everything feels easy to listen to. It feels warm, feels inviting to listen to. So that's what I'm looking for. Like there is some like good saturation and some, good things that are happening in the vocal mix, but I would love to loosen some of those things that feel like they're really suppressing the vocal. Just here to support, keep it. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Jeffro, thank you for the follow as well. I really appreciate it. I use your advice, and I'm def getting cleaner mixes. That makes me so happy. Makes me so happy, Jacob. Tori, hang on. Are you in Texas? Wearing a Yankee cap? It is a New York cap. I don't know if it's the Yankees. I don't follow the Yankees, but I am in Texas. But I have no allegiance to Texas outside of the Spurs tonight. That's the only Spurs tonight I do have an allegiance to. That's about it. Everything else can go to hell. All right, let's get into it. Sorry. Yeah, like most of the movement on the production, I think is fine. I'm not too worried about it, right? It's just gluing, like putting this under an umbrella, making sure everything feels really cohesive. The alien, the GOAT. 5 years, he'll be the best in the league. This vocal actually is a little bit softer, right? Like this one's not nearly as like transient and bright and snappy. This actually feels, yeah, he's okay. He's fine. He's whatever. He's only 7'6" or something like that. Moves like a guard and also is a beast of a center. Defensive player of the year. He's fine. He's fine. We're very lucky. We're very, very lucky to have him. This vocal, anyways, besides the point, this vocal actually feels a little bit smoother and a little bit softer. So I would just watch that main hook vocal. I would, yeah, I mean, he's bombing half court shots. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah. It's a little bit of a balancing act between the two, right? A little bit of a balancing act between the two. For the most part, though, and it's very clean. It's a really good structure. Lots of great space out here. Ambiance, echoes, and delays. Those vocal layers that there's nice like strings and pads in the background. This feels very spacious, and I love that, right? Like it's very open, great ambiance. I like it. There's so much about this that I really, really love. So to me, it's like, again, everything, this is like the bullet point. Everything in the production is very soft, easy, warm to listen to, right? It's very, very natural to listen to. Make sure the vocal carries that same energy in the way that you process it, and you'll be ready to go. It's really cool, man. Great harmonies. Hey, thank you so much, Erica. Appreciate you. Yeah, rest of this sounds great. What's up, Evandale? Welcome in. Nice little ping pong in the background there too. Good movement. Awesome. Hey, it's got a great structure. You also show some love to Metin. That is Zabs and Metin. The song is called Trauma. Yeah, great feel, great openness, lots of ambiance, lots of wash on the outside. It's really well put together, man. Really, really well put together. Y'all please show some love to the family, Metin, right here in the chat. Yeah, biggest thing is just like maybe readdress the vocals, like maybe readdress some of the overproducing of the vocals to make them sound a little bit softer, a little bit more natural. So I'm not hearing EQ. I'm not like hearing the compression happen so much. It's just there for control, but it's a bit more transparent. Maybe transparent is the word I would look for. Like a little bit better transparency of the vocals. So I'm not hearing the things that are happening to it as much outside of maybe reverb and tuning. And it feels a little bit more natural, but while still being very controlled. So if you can polish some of the elements there, you'll be ready to go. Y'all show some love. Show some love to Metin right here in the chat. Love and appreciate y'all. y'all so much. That is going to close us up for today, y'all. We are going to be live again tomorrow. So definitely tap in. Make sure that you're following. Make sure that you're following on, of course, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Make sure you have live stream notifications turned on. We'll be back in the morning tomorrow. I'll be out for the afternoon, so we are going to stream a bit earlier. I'm not positive on the exact time, but you'll know when we're on here, especially if you get notified. So definitely get your music ready, your revisions ready. We'll dive into a handful of consultations there and get into the details of your music. But I love and appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully we'll see some of y'all very, very soon and get to hear more of your music. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll chat soon. Peace.